Hi, welcome to my review of Top 5, directed by Chris Rock, a comedy that centers around a recovering alcoholic comedian who returns to his home, New York City, to do press for his upcoming drama, which he directed and stars in. So I saw Top 5 today mainly because of the overwhelming reviews that it's been receiving. To me, the trailers didn't look all too enthralling. It just looked kind of okay at best. I'm not the world's biggest Chris Rock fan, not because I have anything against him, but because, his style just can kind of annoy me sometimes. Which I would believe is probably not always his fault. He's just taking roles that are given to him. And what's interesting about this film is that it's almost like an autobiography because they're both people, Chris Rock and his character that he plays in the film, they're both people who want to be taken seriously and want to kind of shed that comedic image. You can really tell that this is a very personal film from Chris Rock, and this film kind of gives us an insight to what perhaps his life is actually like. It kind of deals with celebrity and living with an image that you cannot shake no matter how hard you try because your fans keep on reminding you what you are or what you were, or at least what they perceive you to be. And like I said in my synopsis, Chris Rock plays an actor who is trying to shake that comedic image that he once had by playing this character known as Hammy the Bear, which is ridiculous in the film. But he's trying to shake this by starring and directing in his own dramatic film. Although Hammy the Bear brought him a lot of humiliation, Hammy the Bear also brought him a lot of money. It brought him a lot of fans and a lot of overall success. But when he turns around and does a film like Uprise, which is a more serious film, I don't want to spoil anything, but the success is, it's not quite up there. Which is sadly an exact reflection as to how my cinema was tonight. So in other words, when an actor decides to take a turn for the better and to be a part of something of substance, no one really cares, which I kind of think is just a little sad. And one thing I need to commend this film for is its direction. Now, I've never seen a Chris Rock film before, and this film really kind of gives me some hope as to seeing what he's going to do next, because this film is directed really well. And he manages to get a lot of really good performances out of the actors. There's not a single bad note to be found here, and some of which are actually pretty great. Chris Rock, Rosario Dawson, Cedric the Entertainer, JB Smoove, I mean, they all give really, really good performances, and the performances feel very naturalistic as well. And one thing I have to say is that after seeing a film like Exodus, a film that had absolutely zero characters with any kind of development or depth or personality or whatever, this film has characters that have personalities, flavorful personalities, which I really like about this film. Now, I've heard a lot of people praise this film for how funny it is, which I can definitely see why. I do think it is a funny film, but as for me, I didn't really find myself laughing a whole lot. I did chuckle here and there, but as for really laughing, didn't really quite happen, but then again, my humor's kind of weird. For me, I like stuff that's kind of random, absurd, crazy, to just downright dry. Something like Coen Brothers or The Wolf of Wall Street. As for the problems that I have with the film, I think the film sometimes feels a little too indulgent, and what I mean is that there are scenes that go on for just a little too long, and it kind of makes the film seem longer than what it actually is. This film is only an hour and a half, and it feels like it's like over 2 hours. This is a very talky film with a narrative that's not exactly strong, which is fine because this is a character-driven film. That's what it is. But there comes a point at a little over the hour mark where I kind of started to lose my patience with it, just little by little, kind of asking questions, okay, like, what else do you have to say? What are we doing here? Where are we going with this? And to me, this film feels more like a pilot for an HBO series, which is actually a pretty positive thing to say, but this is what the film felt like, which is typically, like an hour. And that might have been one of the reasons why I felt some of the film scenes went on for longer than what they probably should have. Typically with a show, you have more time to focus on a scene that you probably would not have time to focus on if you were working on a film. And not only that, but I do have a legitimate problem with some of the extensive comedic scenes, and that's because, since they go on for so long, the effect is just kind of ruined. Overall, I'm going to give Top 5 a strong 3.5 out of 5. As always, I'm Colyn Kirkland, and thank you so much for watching.